Well, good morning, Merry Christmas. We got some high impactful weather going across the western U.S. and the eastern U.S. today. Thankfully, in the longer term here, the west coast will dry out some, and some more impactful weather along the east coast in the coming days. Repeated rounds of ice, snow, things like that. Again, Merry Christmas, and hope y'all have a good Christmas and the rest of your week. So let's get started here. This is a local rate. This is the national radar. Okay, showing the rainfall out west here. Um, Still streaming in Santa Maria, all in the southern California, the California mountains, Sierra Nevada, Northern California, parts of Oregon, Washington State, and some snow and rain in Intermountain West and along the East Coast. Somewhat impactful for northern Maine, parts of Halifax, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick this morning. Ice and snow along the lee side of the lakes. So might be a festive start to your day here with some snow there. So what are we looking at with the excessive rainfall on the west coast the next couple of days? We're expecting heavy rain along the west coast, especially in the southern California. All right. And there's a moderate risk of excessive rainfall today. Los Angeles, Oxnard, Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, all those areas could get 4 to 6 inches of rain today. And we have a slight risk all along the coast here and into the areas of the desert southwest as well. Moving into tomorrow, the slight risk is just centered around the Los Angeles area with a marginal risk in the California, Sierra Nevada mountains and surrounding areas. And day 3, thankfully, we don't have any more excessive rainfall outlooks at all, with the system finally ejecting into the Intermountain West. Okay, so that's good news. Anyway, we get a break from this incessant rainfall, flooding, mudslides, everything going on past several days. Related to that is the severe risk today. We have risk of tornadoes, high winds, and hail in the mountains here. Tornado risk is marginal, 2% along the coast in the California. On the windward side of the mountains here. Wind risk in the same areas, 5% wind risk. Not a hail risk, interesting enough. I thought there'd be one in the mountainous terrain here. We go to day 2. Thankfully, we only have chance of thunderstorms in these areas, which you wouldn't expect there to be up here in the Pittsburg area. But we'll take a look at that. But in general, severe weather threat not that high. And then as the system moves through the central U.S., you got potential thunderstorms, cold front pushing through, and along the Gulf Coast of Texas here on Saturday. So we had record temps in Georgia yesterday. Atlanta 78, Athens 78, Macon 81 near where I live, Columbus 80. Today highs in the 70 to 80, lows in the 50s to low 50s to upper 50s, partly cloudy. So this is the warm temps through the weekend. The outlook here. Record to near warmth continues through the weekend. Much cooler temperatures next week. 15 to 20 degrees above average through Sunday. You can see the bottom drops out with isolated rain showers in North Georgia late Friday and Saturday, with high rain chances late Sunday into Monday. We also got a drought going on here. The drought persisting for a good portion of the southeast and the deep south and into Florida here. And the Climate Prediction Center is forecasting the drought to persist and expand through most of Georgia with the dry weather continuing. And other winter outlooks also are hinting at overall above average temperatures and below average precip continuing for the southeast, which has been a theme this year with La Nina. Again today, high temperatures nearing 80 degrees in the south, South Georgia, to the upper 60s in North Georgia mountains. Tonight, quite warm in the 50s, and actually warmer up here. Maybe some cloud cover up here in North Georgia. Tomorrow, rinse and repeat. Maybe some showers up to the north here, but generally 60s and 70s, approaching 80 again in South Georgia. So what's driving this weather that we got going on? Well, we have the onshore flow of the atmospheric river along the west coast here, and multiple rounds of disturbances moving through the northeast. And this is the HRRR model showing what's pretty accurately what's going on right now. And as we move through through time, excuse me, you can see the system to the north here, getting going here, right? And this already got freezing rain ongoing here in the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, and snow further to the north. We got this low pressure sitting offshore, driving more rainfall into the west, okay? And this is tomorrow. Looks like potential icing and heavy sleet event here. And looks like some thunderstorms, or that was outlook. Do you see there's potential for thunderstorms here? Some really intense precip rates here. All right, and this may be a little overdone given the profile there with the maybe picking up on the heavier precip as sleet, thinking it's hail or something. But overall, you can see what's happening here as this moves through. Looks like an all snow event for most of the big cities. Well, New York City, Philadelphia looks to be ice, and it looks like Washington D.C. might be in a dry slot. It may begin with freezing rain, but the dry slot will be there, right? And maybe changing over a little bit to ice or sleet as the system exits, right? And this is as of September, December 27th at 5 a.m. So by the 27th, Saturday morning, it'll be offshore. And thankfully, the only impacts on the West Coast at this point will be up into parts of Portland, of Oregon, and Washington State. And in the Intermountain West, you have just snow in general, high elevations here, right? So as we move further out in time with the NAM, which is a little bit longer range model, it just seems to want to hang on to precip a little longer on the coast here. Some back end snow here, maybe with the upper level system behind it, triggering that. You can see along the west coast here, it's calmed down quite a bit by Saturday evening. But we have quite cold temperatures up here, parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, with snow ongoing up here, right? Now we take the Euro, go a little bit further out. There's your exiting system here. Looks like high pressure aloft off the coast here, the west coast. High pressure at the surface, excuse me. And we have a stronger system and a stronger push of trough pushing into the central U.S. with a cold front here. It looks right now that this is Monday. Looks like it's going to be mostly inland runner here. So you're going to have heavy rain potentially moving through the northeast, then cold temps pushing it behind it. And along the west coast, still staying relatively dry. Okay, so that's good news, right? Maybe some lake effect snow after that system goes through. Now, we'll go a little bit further out with the Euro. This is the previous run. See up north here, the Euro really wants to have a couple inland runners here. This is your first system, right? Your second system. and maybe one diving south here, maybe a system's diving back into the northwest as we get further towards the January 5th. Interesting run here of the Euro wanting to develop something right offshore here in the Southern Stream with Southern Stream energy. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not, but because it's pretty far out, January 7th. So overall, just the West Coast is going to get a break for quite a little bit here, hopefully for quite a while. And we'll have different systems pushing through the east with potential impacts, especially further out, hard to really pin down, but this looks like right now, the way it's modeled, it's not going to do much for the east coast except for maybe the mid-Atlantic here, okay? If we switch to the GFS just to see, interestingly enough, it has a pretty similar scenario here, which is unusual, okay? Let's go with the 0Z, 6Z. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens with this. So, temperatures. Let's look at temperatures here. Model temps starting off this afternoon. Coldest temps are in the northeast. The south, as you know, is quite warm. You see the cold front pushing through here. Cold air. This is Monday, right? So it's going to be a rude awakening for us down here in the south with really cold temps up north here. And these are overnight temps. They're cooling off with looks like a CAD wedge a little bit hanging on here through the 31st. With the coldest temps Intermountain West into Canada. So here's the latest messages about the atmospheric river. This mountain snow and heavy rainfall will continue. This was issued yesterday, so this graphic isn't quite up to date, but mountain snow through Friday, strong winds through the end of today, widespread rainfall through Friday. So, like I said, this is going to continue for another day or so, and it's going to let up here. Now for the event for the East Coast, we have a very high potential for icing, right? Accumulating sleet, possible here on the eastern side of where the axis is of the ice, right? So, you know, you could get 2 or 3 inches of sleet probably in that area. So then we got a high chance of at least 4 inches plus of snow in these areas as well. And the forecast will be fine tuned as we get closer. But I'm gonna have some graphics here next to go through the different areas and what the expectations are for precip ice and snow here next. So from going from west to east here, I want to show y'all the snowfall predictions and the ice. So this is starting in Cleveland, Ohio. Not a lot of snow expected. All right. We move into the ice forecast. Quite impactful for a good portion of this area, especially the eastern portion, Oriole City. These amounts can be devastating for travel. Okay, so gotta be mindful of that. Now from the Pittsburg, PA area, not expecting a lot of snow, maybe far to the north. When we look at ice potential, the highest near Punxsutawney, the northern part of this forecast area. State College, PA area, this is where on the northern portion of this area, the snowfall amounts are higher, potentially up to 3 to 4 inches of snow to the north of Harrisburg here. Look at ice. Somerset, Johnstown, and those areas may get up to a quarter or more of inch of ice here. So travel will be almost impossible if this happens. Now from Birmingham, New York, snowfall expected. Amounts potentially 4 to 8 inches in the yellow area, with maybe a little bit higher up here near Hunter, right? Closer to 12 maybe. We'll see how that plays out. And the ice, of course, is further to the south and west here, but still quite a range of ice potential, but still impactful, right? Now we look at the major cities here. Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. may get a trace of snow. Not looking too likely at this point, maybe on the onset. Philadelphia could get up to 3 inches. The jackpot area is likely in the New York City area, northern New Jersey, Somerville area where I used to live. Could get 2 to 6, so quite a wide range here still. So as we get a little bit closer to the event, I think tonight they'll have better idea of totals here. From the Mount Halley area, there's another forecast for the Delaware area for snowfall. You see generally a trace to 1 inch of snow possible in these areas with this next event. And the same graphic but with ice put on top of it here. Not a lot of ice expected in Washington, but to the west here, especially in the higher terrain, we could definitely have some icing concerns. And further west, another graphic from the New Jersey area, but kind of shows the same thing here with the icing totals possible here. May have showed this already, but just another graphic about the icing totals from a little different perspective. So you can see where the ice, this is the Delaware area really. Not much ice expected south of the tip of New Jersey here. From the Baltimore, Washington area, this is another graphic showing the snowfall total potential. Like I said, trace to maybe half an inch, maybe at the onset or maybe right at the end, but overall not a lot of snow expected down here into Maryland. Another graphic showing the ice potential here. Really the highest ice potential is further up into Pennsylvania in the higher terrain here. But I think they're going to be in a dry slot here in the south, so not too warm aloft and not a lot of moisture. If that dry slot sets up, then you might not have much of anything. From the Charleston, West Virginia area, another graphic sort of to the west here just shows the same ice and things like that, potential accumulations here. So when we looked at data 3 to 7 U.S. hazards outlook, potential for a frost freeze along the Gulf Coast here, and these impactful snow events potential all along the east here, and freezing rain on the 27th. We talked about that. Heavy snow in the Lake Effect favored areas, high winds, potentially inland here into the northeast U.S. Heavy snow on the 29th and high winds up north here and the Intermountain West. Actually, not Intermountain West, the Front Range of the Rockies into parts of North Dakota and South Dakota. Hazardous cold potential up here in the Canada. Snow and heavy precip ongoing here. West Coast looks to be getting a break here. When we go 8 to 14 days out, we have this risk of precip. This is valid. Heavy precip valid January 1st to the 7th. We might get a return of heavy rain along the west coast. Heavy snow on the west coast and the Mountain West. Slight risk of high winds along the west coast the 1st through the 4th. And into the south to the plains here, and into the northeast the 1st through the 2nd, and the Michigan area, Great Lakes. So like I said, systems are going to be coming through the Northeast, impacting the Northeast quite frequently in the coming days. And a slight risk here into Alaska. Hazardous cold temps possible up here into the Northeast, the 1st to the 3rd, and into Alaska again. Now I look at 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is issued yesterday. Still expected to be colder than normal all along the East Coast and into the Ohio Valley and the Deep South and up into the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. Precip chances below normal for a good portion of the eastern U.S. and into the central U.S. and maybe near normal Ohio Valley and above normal desert Southwest up into the northern plains. All right. The 8 to 10 still forecast to either be near normal or below normal in the Northeast, above normal temps for the rest of the nation. Looks likely. Alaska below, Hawaii above. Now, precip chances look to be near normal now for the South and the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic for the 8 to 14 day outlook, with above normal continuing here in the desert Southwest. All right, so but still anywhere in the green we could have above normal precip chances, and Hawaii stays above normal, with Alaska being near normal to below normal here. So when we look at week 3 to 4 temperature outlook, we talked about this over the past several days, and this will be issued again tomorrow. This is valid 3rd through the 16th of January, issued December 19th. Forecast will be above normal, pretty much south of, about the first third of the U.S. from the north to the south, could potentially be equal to below normal. The rest of the U.S., except for the west coast here, could have equal chance to be above and below normal. All right. And precip totals and outlook here, below normal continuing for the south and the southeast, above normal Ohio Valley area into the Great Lakes, and maybe trending above normal here on the west coast, northwest coast, Alaska, and Hawaii above normal, Alaska equal to below. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this forecast and you found it informative. Hope you have a good Christmas and God bless.